Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, Counter-Spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve. Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Comedy this hour as we head back first to April 22nd, 1951, an episode of Freeman Gosden and Charles Correll as Amos and Andy.
Andy, you know what that music say?
Yes, sir, Amos. That music say good health to all from Rexall.
The Amos and Andy Show with Ernestine Wade, Lou Lubin, Johnny Lee, Amanda Randolph, Will Wright, Shirley Mitchell, Vince Townsend, Jeff Alexander's music, and radio's all-time favorites, Amos and Andy.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? This is Amos. You know, I wish I could take all of you with me on a tour of Rexall's big laboratories. There you'd see for yourself how Rexall scientists check and recheck, test and retest the drug products that bear the name Rexall. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, then you would know, as I do, you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
The Kingfish got a rather startling bit of news this week. When he got home from the lodge hall the other night, his wife Sapphire informed him that she was leaving to spend 3 weeks with her married sister in Chicago.
Now listen, honey, you can't go away like this and leave me all alone. You can't run off to Chicago and desert me. You can't desert your poor, poor husband.
Well, all right, George. If you feel that way, I won't go.
Holy mackerel, I overdid it, Judge.
What did you say?
I mean, I just thinking of you, honey. The trip is going to do you good. I know that. Yeah.
Well, George, while I'm gone, is you going to write to me?
Well, I don't think I'll have to this trip, honey. I got $12. That ought to tide me over already.
You got about as much love and affection in you as a dried apricot.
Well, now listen, you gotta face it. After 20 years of marriage, the love light is working on a weaker battery. But don't get me wrong, honey, I really gonna miss you here by myself.
Well, George, while I'm gone, you ain't gonna be completely alone.
Just how incompletely alone is I gonna be?
George, while I'm gone, I've asked my mother to come over here and stay with you. Now, I'm going in and pack.
Holy smokes, you leaving and your mama coming. That's like trading Dracula for Frankenstein.
What did you say?
I said, to be frank with you, honey, I hope you have a nice time.
Now, see here, George, whether you like it or not, Mama is going to stay here. And while Mama is here, I want you to show her all the respect that she deserves.
Well, if it does that, she's going to hit me in the face.
George, I'm warning you. I had a long talk with Mama this morning. She's a dear, sweet woman, always kind and considerate. And while she's here, she's determined to win your love and affection if she has to flatten out that head of yours to do it.
Yes, Andy, I'm going to be spending more time here at the Lodge Hall now that the invasion has done started.
Yeah, well, that is something. Your mama-in-law coming to stay with you while Sapphire's in Chicago. You know, Kingfish, I never believed none of them mother-in-law jokes till I got a load of her.
Yeah, really something having her cook the food for me and then sitting down at the table opposite her.
Pretty bad, huh?
Well, last night for supper, she done stewed a flounder for 4 hours. And when she brung it to the table, that dead fish looked more appetizing than she did.
He's got a better shape to start with.
Listen, Anna, I tell you, I just got to find some way to get rid of that old gal.
Well, you has been pretty successful when it comes to relative vacation in the past.
Well, I've been pretty successful with my brother-in-law, Leroy. When he arrives, I usually give him a pretty strong hint that he ain't welcome.
Well, how you do that, Kingfish?
Well, when he comes to the door, I reaches out and extends the hand of friendship. And while he's shaking this hand like this, I lets him have a rabbit punch behind the ear with the other hand. And then without further ceremony, I flips him down the front stairs. By the time he hits the pavement, why, his visit is over, you see.
Yeah, well, that don't sound like the technique to use on your mother-in-law. You ain't gonna get far trying to jiu-jitsu no 400-pound walrus, I tell you that.
Well, of course, I was just thinking I might try the medical technique that, like I done with Sapphire's Aunt Minerva last Christmas. She the one with the big appetite, you know.
Oh, medical technique, huh? Well, what was that, Kingfish?
Well, when Minerva come in the living room with a suitcase, I threw a 20-minute fit. But it didn't work. When I come to, she had barricaded herself in the bedroom with a half a chicken, you see. She gonna stay there.
Well, there again, your mom-in-law don't look like the type that's gonna be scared off by no fits.
You know, Andy, here, I think the only thing to do is to try a different approach than I ever used before. Just thinking here. This time while Sapphire's in Chicago, I'm going to try to be sweet and kind to the old lady. And instead of trying to get out, maybe we can get along together nice, you know.
Yeah, sweetness and kindness. It might work. I think I read someplace that Clyde Beatty used that system when he was trying to work a new rhinoceros into his act.
Well, get on into the apartment here and try the sweetness approach on the old gal.
Who's that?
Good evening, mother-in-law, dear. May I say that you was looking perfectly sweet and charming this fine evening?
George Stevens, how dare you come home in this condition, you bum!
Now, wait a minute, mother-in-law, dear. I ain't in no condition. You know I was a teetotalitarian. I was fond of you, mother-in-law, dear.
Ha! You is up to something. Sapphire's father started talking that way once, and I woke up that night and caught him trying to drive a spike through the top of my head.
Well, now, wait a minute, mother-in-law, dear.
Wait a minute, nothing. Oh, what's this on your shoulder here? A long hair.
But mother.
And don't you try to tell me that it come from that bald-head noggin of yours.
Now, look, Mama, that's a horsehair from the pattern in my coat. And anyway, I wouldn't start chasing after women at my age.
Your age is when they get dangerous. You old bosses is always trying to kick up your heels before rheumatism sets in.
Now, look, Mother, we're going to be here together for 3 weeks. Couldn't we just try this once to get along together? Because I know that we both have respect for one another feeling, why, we can work this thing out.
Ah, shut up! You get your own supper. And don't you forget I'm keeping my eye on you.
Some mother-in-law, that is. I see better mothers in the bottom of a vinegar bottle. Well, 6 o'clock in the morning, but I done made my bed. Now I'll get my breakfast before old Volcano Mouth gets up. Well, let me get the newspaper from the hall first. Now, where's that paper? In the hall there someplace. Uh-oh. The door done closed. It's locked. I done left my keys on the dresser. Now I'm gonna have to run around and climb up the fire escape and crawl in the bedroom window. Now, let me get in the open window here. Open it up. Now I'll get in the bedroom here. Then I'll just go in.
George Stevens, what do you mean by sneaking in this house at 6 o'clock in the morning?
Well, I was
Now, just don't give me that old story about just going out to get the newspaper. Your bed ain't even been slept in.
Well, I was, the thing is, you see, I was.
call you up long distance. Something important has come up.
What is it, Mother?
That overripe Casanova is up to his old tricks. I found a woman's hair on his coat, and at 6 o'clock this morning, I caught him sneaking in the house.
Oh, Mama.
Oh, don't you worry about a thing, Sapphire. If that old Ferdinand is going to start sniffing flowers, he's going to end up with lilies on his chest.
April 22nd, 1951, Amos-n-Andy on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. I'm Wyatt Cox. This is Classic Radio Theater, and now more of Amos-n-Andy, April 22nd, 1951.
Yes, that's why I come down here to see you, Lawyer Thompson. My daughter Sapphire's in Chicago, and I want something done about that no-good son-in-law of mine.
Well, I don't know what he's done, but we'll throw him in jail and start from there.
Oh, that's the spirit. Can't we get him on the charge we used when he first married my daughter 22 years ago?
No, I'm afraid he's a little too old now for charges of juvenile delinquency.
Oh. Well, maybe we could commit him to the home for the aged and feeble again.
No, I'm afraid he enjoyed that too much the last time. But I don't know about these suspicions of yours about him running after women. I'm afraid if we made those charges and then put Stevens on the stand, they'd laugh us out of court.
Well, I'm going to keep my eyes on him, and I'll get the goods on him yet. And in the meantime, if you think of anything nasty we can do to him, let me know.
Hey, Kingfish, I was surprised to see you down here at the lodge this early. By the way, how you coming along with the sweetness and light approach on your mama-in-law?
Well, I tell you, and using sweetness and light on that old gal is like pouring Chanel No. 5 on a goat. No matter how much you pour on, the animal is always one step ahead of you.
Yeah, well, where is the charming creature at the present time?
Well, I don't know, Andy. She got up and went out early this morning, left the dishes in the sink, the bed's unmade, didn't speak to me all day yesterday. Oh, she done gone to Brooklyn, all right. That's what she done going. She done going back home.
Well, that's a good break, getting rid of the old Spitfire. But tell me this, who gonna do the housekeeping for you?
Yeah, well, that's what's been bothering me, Andy. I ain't a domestic type, you know. 2 more meals and I'll run out of clean dishes.
Hey, I was just thinking here, Kingfish. You know, maybe my gal could kind of go up there and straighten out the mess.
You mean that she'd do it for nothing?
Well, I'd have to give her a little extra smooching. But I guess I can bear up under that. Give me the phone here. I'll call her up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, she'll be glad to do it for me. We is practical engaged.
Oh, you engaged to her, huh? That's good news.
Hello?
Hello. How is the sweet Mona Lisa, 8th Avenue this morning?
Oh, I was fine, Andy. And how's my big old honey bear?
Well, your big old honey bear is just fine.
Listen, Andy, cut out the mush and tell her about the mop, will you?
Yeah. Can your little honey bear ask you something personal?
Of course, Andy.
Well, look here. A friend of mine needs somebody to kind of straighten out his apartment. I wonder if you could do it for me, sweet baby, honey lamb, sweet patootie.
Andy, you is but to command and I'll obey.
Oh, boy. Well, he lives in that big apartment house up on 138th Street, apartment 3A. He left the door open.
Oh, well, I'll be glad to do it, Andy. I'll get up there right away.
Oh, I knowed you'd do this for me, honey, after all we has meant to each other. Heart of my heart. Farewell.
Well, she gonna fix up my apartment now. That's nice of her, Andy. By the way, what's your gal's name?
I don't know. I only met her last night. Hey, want to shoot another game of pool, Kingfish?
No, Andy. I think I'll go on home. Your gal probably got my apartment all cleaned up by now.
Yeah, well, if she's still there when you get there, remember to find out what her name is for me, will you?
Yes, hey, look who's coming in the pool hall here. Shorty the barber. Shorty, what you doing in here?
I come down to, I'm looking for, I had to stop in and see. I came over to, I must have came down here for something.
A very well taken point there, Shorty.
Yeah, say, you come in here all excited, Shorty. Something must be up.
Oh, yeah, Kingfish. I just ran into your mother-in-law on the street.
Well, now, wait a minute, Shorty. Now, just a minute.
Mm.
My mother-in-law is back in Brooklyn. How you know it was my mother-in-law?
Well, I said hello to her, and she hit me across the face.
Yeah, that's her all right. You got her.
Listen, Kingfish, what would your mother-in-law be doing back here, Kingfish?
Well, I guess maybe she just didn't go back to Brooklyn after all.
Wow.
Maybe she just got up early and she probably went up to the house. To the house? Holy smokes, Andy. When she runs into that gal friend of yours, what is she going to think? Oh, I tell you, Andy, there's going to be blood on the carpet tonight, boy.
Holy mackerel, you was right, Kingfish. When that old war horse find that gal up there, she gonna give a coming-out party for your brains.
I don't know what it's all about, fellas, but Kingfish, if you hurry, maybe you can beat your mother-in-law back to the apartment.
Yeah, that's right, Kingfish. Then you can get the gal out of there, see?
Yeah, that's what I'll do. Shorty, I noticed the car out in front. That's your car. I'll take it and I'll drive as fast as I can.
Well, fine, Kingfish, but there's only one thing. You see, the thing, what you got to do is...
Now, listen, Shorty, I can't wait. I'll go.
Say, Shorty, what is that you was trying to tell the Kingfish?
Well, I just wanted to say that I thought he ought to, he should know that you can, when I get, no gas.
Well, here's the apartment. I hope I got your former mother-in-law did. Open up. You in there? Open up.
Yes, what is it?
Look, I'm, Mr. Stevens, the thing,
Mr. Stevens isn't here.
I know he ain't here.
Well, then why's you asking for him?
Look, I'm Mr. Stevens.
Oh, you poor old man.
Look, sweet patootie, you got to get out of here. My mother-in-law's on the way up here. If she finds you here, she'll never understand.
Well, I can explain to her what I'm doing here.
Now, listen. That sweater you were wearing would counteract any explanation you can give. Now, come on.
But, Mr. Stevens...
Come on, hurry up. Come on. Down the steps.
Oh, there's someone coming up.
Listen, old lady, don't block the stairs. I'm trying to get this gal out before my mother-in-law sees her.
George Stevens?
Mother-in-law.
What's the meaning of this?
Mother-in-law, dear, I'd like to present you with my long-lost sister from Australia, Sweet Patootie. That's terrible. The Kingfisher's mother-in-law misunderstanding a situation like that. I can't get over it, you know it?
Yeah, that's something, all right.
Yeah, I guess this ain't gonna sound good when Sapphire gets word of it out in Chicago, neither.
Well, I tell you something, Amos. This time, the old Kingfish is a man of action. He ain't gonna give her no chance. He done hauled his mama-in-law into domestic relations court.
No fooling. You mean to say the Kingfish done took his mother-in-law to the domestic relations?
He sure did. He said that she has always come between him and his wife. And him and his lawyer Calhoun is down in Judge Quigley's chamber right now. He's trying to get a court order to have his mama-in-law stop interfering. And then he's going to sue her for $10,000 if she don't.
$10,000, huh?
Yes, sir. He's going to sue her for alienating his wife's affliction.
Let me at him. I'll scratch his eyes out.
You let go of me. Help.
I'll fix you.
Your Honor, would you order this woman to stop hitting my client in the face?
Your Honor, this man belongs behind bars.
Let me at him.
Order, please. Let us have a little order. I asked you to come here to my chambers to see if we could work out a peaceful solution. I don't think we're getting off to too good a start. Now, which one of you is counsel for Mr. Stevens?
I am, Your Honor.
April 24th, 1951, Amos-n-Andy on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. The conclusion follows these important messages from your favorite radio station. Just when you thought it couldn't get any better, Mike Lindell and MyPillow launching the MyPillow 2.0. Now, when Mike invented MyPillow, it had everything you could want in a pillow. Now, nearly 20 years later, he's discovered a new technology that makes MyPillow even better. Of course, the patented adjustable fill of the original MyPillow, but now with brand new fabric with a temperature-regulating thread, it's the softest, smoothest, and coolest pillow you'll ever own. Say goodbye to tossing and turning and flipping your pillow over in the middle of the night. And more great news on the MyPillow 2.0 buy one, get one free offer with my promo code Wyatt. MyPillow 2.0 is 100% made in the USA, 10-year warranty, 60-day money-back guarantee. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio podcast square to receive the MyPillow 2.0 buy one, get one free offer. Use my promo code Wyatt or call 1-800-928-4715. Thanks for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now the conclusion of Amos-n-Andy, April 22nd, 1951.
Algonquin J. Calhoun and my poor client here, Innocent Stephen, is bringing the charges against his mother-in-law, trying to get her to refrain from interfering with his domestic affairs.
Yeah, so that's all I want to do, Your Honor.
Well, that's a legitimate request, if there are grounds for it.
Grounds for it? Your Honor, this woman has caused my client undue mental anguish. She has broken his heart, damaged his reputation, injured his pride, and dealt a mortal blow to his soul. Your Honor, this is a nasty old walrus.
That's telling him, Calhoun.
Your Honor, don't you listen to this little shrimp. I done caught this old goat here red-handed with a young hussy. What explanation has he got to that?
Well, according to his deposition here, Mr. Stevens claims that this young girl was merely tidying up his apartment in the absence of his wife.
Ha!
Your Honor, I object. That is a deliberate attempt to cast aspersions on my client's character. If she's gonna I demand that in the future she keep that sneer out of it.
Mrs. Smith, you will kindly control your comments.
Yeah, and while we're at it, would you have her stop jabbing me in the back with her umbrella? I feel that it's against the best interest of my spine.
Your Honor, if anyone should be brought before this domestic relations court, it's this man, George Stevens. Why, this man has never supported his wife in 22 years of marriage. He's accepted money from his mother-in-law. She has supported them, paid their rent, bought their clothes, and he has never made any attempt to get a job in all this time.
I object, Your Honor. The fact that my client is a bum has nothing to do with the question.
That's telling him, Calhoun.
It appears to me that the question here has nothing to do with Mr. Stevens' unemployment or his past record as a husband. That should be brought up at another time. The question is Mrs. Smith deliberately and maliciously attempting to come between husband and wife?
Your Honor, I never done a malicious thing in my life.
Oh, yeah, you is. How about the time I had pneumonia and you tried to puncture a hole in my oxygen tent? How about that?
Your Honor, this woman has caused trouble. Your Honor, this is a mean old lady.
Don't you talk that way. Don't you talk that way about me, you little weasel.
Here. We'll have no more of this. Mr. Stevens, you claim this young woman was merely cleaning your apartment. Now, I think the whole crux of this thing is the truth of that statement.
Your Honor, We have depositions here from two witnesses, Andrew H. Brown and Montmorency R. Lewis, better known as Shorty the Barber, stating that she was there for that purpose and that purpose only.
Yes, I see the depositions here. Well, Mrs. Smith, I am convinced that your son-in-law is telling the truth in this matter.
Yes, sir, Your Honor, that's all I've been doing. I've been blabbing out the truth, every word of it.
It is the purpose of the Domestic Relations Court to maintain the family unit whenever possible. So I hereby rule that in all domestic arguments between George Stevens and his wife Sapphire, you, Mrs. Smith, are to refrain from all interference.
Ain't he the sweetest judge?
It is also the ruling of this court that should any questions arise between husband and wife, you, Mrs. Smith, are ordered to remain silent at all times. Silent at all times. That is all. Thank you, Your Honor. Come along, Mrs. Smith.
Well, Kingfish, we finally got your mother-in-law's mouth closed. That's the biggest job since they filled in the Gowanus Canal.
Mother-in-law, it's 6:30. Has you started breakfast yet?
Yes, George.
Now, I want you to clean up the bedroom and scrub the kitchen.
Yes, George. I'll get right at it.
Come back here. I ain't finished talking to you yet. Never turn your back on me while I'm speaking to you. I'll haul you right back into court, you mess with me, boy.
I'm sorry, George.
And now another thing, mother-in-law dear. Now that the judge has ordered you to keep that big mouth of yours shut, out of the very goodness of my heart, I was going to show you what I was doing coming in the other morning on the fire escape just to show you how wrong you was.
What are you talking about?
Well, now look here. You stay here in the living room and I'm going to show you. Now, first of all, I went out the front door like this. And the door closed behind me and locked. Now you stay inside there, and I'm going to take it step by step and show you. Now I'm going around the alley, and I'm going to climb up the fire escape, and I'm going to show you what happened.
I wonder who that can be. Oh, now where did George go?
Hello, Mama.
Why, Sapphire, what is you doing here? Well, we didn't expect you back from Chicago for another 2 weeks.
Well, Mama, I got worried about that phone call. You saying George was chasing after some woman, so I decided to come back and get to the bottom of it. Where is George, anyhow?
Well, Sapphire, you see... Oh, there he is, coming in the fire escape there.
Oh, hello there, Sapphire. I didn't expect you so soon.
I'll say you didn't. What is you doing sneaking in this house at 7 o'clock in the morning?
Well, mother-in-law dear, tell Sapphire what I was doing. Mama, explain it to her.
It is the ruling of the court in disputes between husband and wife. The mother-in-law will remain silent.
Amos-n-Andy, April 22nd, 1951. I want to repeat what we've said in the past about people who complain about us broadcasting Amos-n-Andy and why we do air these shows. And we go back to George Santayana, who said in 1905, "The life of reason, the phases of human progress. Progress, far from consisting in change, depends on retentiveness. When change is absolute, there remains no being to improve, and no direction is set for possible improvement. And when experience is not retained, as among savages, infancy is perpetual. Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it." That's why we air so many of these great old radio shows. Realize what things were like then, have a laugh, and realize how bad things were. And quite frankly, we're doing a lot better today. Think how far we have come. Alrighty, you're listening to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Thank you for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now, we're going to wrap up some of the mess here with Lum and Abner, going back to April 22nd, 1953. Ted at RadioMemories.com supplies us these shows. And this one deals with basically the conclusion of the problem of the unlabeled cans.
Granny's, Abner, I believe that's our ring.
Doggy's Lum, I believe you're right.
I'll see. Hello, jot 'em down, store. This is Lum and Abner.
And now let's see what's going on down in Pine Ridge.
Howdy, folks. I'm Dick Huddleston. And I have the sad news to relate that Lum and Abner, after having the secret of how Grandpappy Spears could tell the contents of their unlabeled cans, ruined the whole thing by switching the cans around to fool Grandpap. Well, it fooled him all right, but not half as much as it did Lum and Abner. And on top of that, a truck from the wholesale house arrived and, well, wait a minute, I'll let Abner tell this piece of bad news. Lum is just entering the store, and he hasn't heard it either. Doggy's Lum, I'm glad you're back. Something happened while you was gone. I sort of hate to tell you.
Well, if it's bad news, Abner, I don't want to hear it.
Well, actually, it happened so fast I hardly knowed what was going on. And you wasn't here. How come you was gone so long? Don't take no 2 hours to eat lunch.
Well, I was trying to work up a deal for us.
A deal?
Yeah, after I tried to sell Luke on the idea of taking some of these canned goods off our hands for his restaurant.
Oh?
Actually, we ain't got a whole lot of them cans left out the labels, but it sure looks like we're stuck with what we have got.
Yeah. That ain't all we're stuck with, neither.
What do you mean by that?
Well, you recollect when our grab bag sale was going so good, you rushed into the county seat and bought up all them damaged canned goods in there at the wholesale house?
Yeah, I'd plumb forgot about that. Yeah, I better call the wholesale house and tell them to cancel that order.
It's too late. They're here.
What did you say?
Take a look back there in the feed room. Must be a couple of billion cans back there.
Oh, no.
They're all dented and the labels half tore off.
For goodness sakes, Abner, you ought to stopped them. Told them to take the stuff back.
They wouldn't take it back. Said they was supposed to deliver it in here, and I doggies that's what they was going to do.
Oh, me.
And there was 2 of them, both about 6'1.5" tall. And somehow or other, I didn't feel much like arguing with them.
Was that Scrappy Lambert one of them?
He might have been, big husky fella.
I don't blame you. I wouldn't have fought him neither.
Well, I thought about fist fighting him for a minute.
Always wanted to scuffle, that feller.
Must have been him then. For one of them picked me up and told me to keep out of the way so they could get their work done.
Oh, that's just great. I can't leave this store half a minute without you getting us into some kind of trouble.
Well, Lum, it was your idea to order all them damaged canned goods, not mine.
Yeah, but that was when the grab bag sale was going great guns. You'll have to admit it seemed like a great idea then. Everybody was crowding in here, waiting in line to get a chance to guess what was in the cans.
Yeah, and they was all missing them, too. I thought surely we was going to get to be at least millionaires.
Oh, at least. Now look at us.
Yeah. Well, maybe we can start up the grab bag sale again, Lum. Grandpap can't cross us up this time.
Oh, that thing's dead now.
How do you know it is?
Well, judging from remarks I've been overhearing on the street of late, folks has got tired of that idea of trying to guess what they're buying.
Oh?
They liked it at first because it was such a novelty. Getting canned goods free if they guessed right, but then it died out like any kind of a fad like that always does.
Yeah. Well, leastways, Luke's gonna take some of it off our hands.
No, he ain't. I couldn't talk him into none of it.
Couldn't, huh?
No, he weren't interested at all.
Doggies.
Said he never wanted to buy no cans without labels on them. Said he wants to know what he's getting.
Well, me, I don't see what difference that'd make to him. Now, everything he serves down there at that lunchroom of his tastes the same regardless of what he claims it is.
I know it.
And nobody has ever been able to figure out what any of that stuff actually is. He'd be a natural to buy up this junk.
I pinted all that out to him, about his food all tasting the same and all, but for some reason or other, he got mad.
He did?
You know how hot-tempered he is.
Yeah, well, he's even-tempered, I'll say that for him. Mad all the time.
Yeah.
Flies off the handlebars over nothing at all.
Nor mindedest one feller I ever seen.
Nor one mind that I ever seen in my whole life. The nardest-minded mind in the whole town.
If I'd have said something to insult him or something like that, it'd been different. You could understand such altitude, but what did I say?
Nothing.
Just trying to make him a good deal. Make him a real cheap price on the whole lot. But no. Thinks he's so dad blame high class.
You'd think he'd know by this time what that food of his tastes like. Well, of course, he never tasted himself. He never eats there. He always goes someplace else.
He don't?
Oh, no.
Well, I'll give him credit for more brains than I ever allowed he had. He used to eat there, didn't he?
Oh, long time ago he did. But he has his woman pack a lunch for him now. Always brings that little lunch pail along. Claims he's got a sensitive stomach and can't stand that food that's there at the lunchroom.
That I can understand. Nobody else can stand it neither.
No.
For being a relay to Grandpap, Luke shows pretty good sense at times. But that ain't going to help us solve our problems.
No. Of course, now we can more likely use some of that last batch of stuff the wholesale house delivered, Lum. I noticed some of the labels are still on them cans. Have to sort of paste them up a little to make them look good.
I just don't think so. Folks will buy them, though, Abner, all dented that away and all. I've noticed when a customer will be in here, if they pick up a can of something and it's dented a little, they'll put it back and take one that ain't.
Yeah, well, I saw them do that, too.
And one's just as good as the other, and not no difference at all to what's inside.
No. Reckon what makes folks do that?
Just human nature, I reckon. Figure if they're going to buy a can, they want one that's solid without no dents in it.
Yeah, well, I've took so many of them dented cans home with poor little Pearl, I don't think she knows that some cans are plumb round like they're supposed to be. Doggies, them humans is sure loaded with that nature. Well, let's see. Ought to be some way of using that stuff. Maybe we can... Well, there comes Cedric up out there.
Now, there's the genius that got us into all this in the first place.
Yeah,
forcing them labels off.
Howdy, Cedric. Come on in.
Well, howdy, Mr. Abner. Howdy, Mr. Lum.
What can we do for you today, Cedric?
Well, I'll tell you. I'm representing the OGW and LTC.
Representing the what?
Oh, the Older Girls Woodcraft and Leather Tooling Club.
Oh, that.
Yes, Mom.
Never even knowed you was a member, Cedric.
I never knowed it neither. Emma?
Well, I don't know. Are you?
Well, if I am, they ain't told me about it.
Oh.
Did they tell you I was?
No, Cedric, I never knowed nothing about it.
Well, all I'm doing now is what Claire Bell told me to do. She's a member. She's the captain of the Victuals Drive.
Captain of the what?
Victuals Drive. They're going around getting donates of food to send over to them folks that ain't got enough to eat.
Well, that's a good thing for 'em to be doing, Cedric. I'll say that for 'em.
You fellers got anything you could make a donate with?
Oh, I reckon we can give 'em something. Don't you think so, Lum?
Well, you know, I was just thinking while you two was talking there, and I believe we can make a pretty good donate. Cedric, you can take all the canned goods we got in this store.
All of 'em?
Every dad blame one of 'em.
Well, Lum, that ain't gonna leave us hardly nothing on our shelves here.
I know, but the way it is, the stuff's practical useless to us. And them folks can sure make good use of it, so by grannies, that's what we ought to do.
Oh, boy. Wait till Clarabelle hears this.
All right, it's all right with me. I agree with you 100%.
It's all good food, no matter what's in them cans. It'll come in mighty handy.
Why, sure. Say, wait a minute, Cedric. Where you going?
I just want to run across the street and tell Clarabelle. This is the biggest thing ever happened to the Older Girls Woodcraft and Leather Tooling Club, I'll bet you.
Cedric, when are you going to pick up all this stuff?
I'll be right back. She's just over to Dick Huddleston's store.
Well, that sure takes care of what to do with the cans.
Yeah, I'm glad of it, too. Now I think we better call the wholesale house and order some new merchandise.
Well, Lum, do you think they'll give us any credit?
I hope so. We don't owe them much right now, no way. Hello, Mamie. Would you try and connect me with the wholesale house in at the county seat, please, Mom? Yeah, Mr. Forrest. Yeah, call me as quick as you get him, please.
Reckon what'll cost us to put in a whole new line that way, Lum?
Well, I ain't even going to think about that. The way I look at it, look at that Cedric run. He's going to fall down and break his neck.
Yeah, sometimes he's going to run right through our door. I know that. Cedric, take it easy.
Oh, yes, Mom. Well, here I am. Oh, with Clarabelle tickled to death. She says he's going to make you honorary member of the Older Girls Woodcraft and Leather Tooling Club.
Well.
Here. Each one of you gets one of these.
Well, much obliged, Cedric. What are they?
Oh, just some pieces of leather that the members tool some designs on.
Oh, ain't that nice. See, Lum?
Yeah.
What are they, Cedric?
Oh, nothing, I don't think. Just shows what type of work the members do, different designs they can make.
Uh-huh. That's nice. They do good work,
yes,
I think.
Well, personal, I think it stinks.
Here, Lum, which one of them do you want?
Oh, I guess it don't make a lot of difference.
It don't.
You take your pick, Abner.
Well, let's see. They're both nice. One with the star on it here is nice. And the half-moon one is pretty, too. Which one do you like, Lum?
Oh, I don't know. Just can't make up my mind twixt the star and the half moon. Why don't you just keep them both, Abner?
Oh,
Wait a
I
minute.
don't want it.
Hello? Hello, Mr. Forrest? Mr. Forrest of the wholesale house? Oh, well, how are you? This is Lum Edwards. Yes, sir. Say, Mr. Forrest, we've got to order a whole new line of canned goods. Well, I'll just leave that up to you. You know about how much we'd need. Yeah, that's all right. Oh, no, it ain't we've been doing that good a business. It's just that we got that whole batch of unlabeled cans and can't tell what's in them, so we just give them away. How's that? Well, I do know. No, it's too late. Let the order stand.
I think I'll put these...
Yeah, much obliged, Mr. Forrest.
Put this leather on
Goodbye.
my shoes, make pretty tracks, a star and a half moon. Did he bring up about our credit, Lum?
No, but do you recollect the other day when I said there was some letters and numbers stamped on the bottom of all them cans?
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Forrest said if we'd just asked him, he could have told us what was in them cans by the figures.
He could?
That's what he said. Said there was some kind of a code of some kind. Granny, if we'd have only known that, think of all the trouble we could have saved ourselves.
Well, here, we can still use the stuff, Lum. We got it here in the store yet. Cancel the order, Lum.
No, sir. No. We made a promise, and we're going to stick to it, Abner. Where them cans of food are going, they'll do a lot more good than they ever would here.
Yeah, I reckon you're right, Lum. I'll amen that 100%, yep.
Yeah, we made a lot of mistakes in this past week, but Granny, this is one thing I know is right. Go ahead, Cedric. Start loading them up.
April 22nd, 1953, Lum and Abner on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. And while, our friend Ted at RadioMemories.com supplies shows on cassette, CD, or flash drive for your computer, and he's provided us all these great shows. RadioMemories.com. He has shows on, as I said, cassette, CD, or flash drive for your computer collection. There you go. Visit our webpage, classicradio.stream. Stream our shows. Learn about building a classic radio collection of your own. Contact me. Find our social media links. You can buy me a copy to help us acquire additional classic radio collections and help our distribution. That's at classicradio.stream. Thank this station. Support their advertisers. Tell your friends the greatest radio shows of all time are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.